Hey everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Mike B, and today I'm going to be answering a question that's been being asked quite frequently in the comments, specifically by younger people or people that are just getting into the military surplus firearm collecting hobby. And that's, are there any deals to be had here in the year 2020? We're getting towards the end of 2020 here. Are there any deals to be had anymore, or is it just everything is super expensive and it's pretty much over? For the most part, everything's super expensive and it's pretty much over being affordable and being a fun hobby in that respect. But there are a few deals I would consider that I've personally gotten this year. I still look for deals. My buying has been very slowed down compared to previous years where I was able to get things for more affordable prices. But I'm still collecting. I mean, I'm a collector. I've been doing it for about 15 years. I'm really nothing special. I just like having little pieces of history like everyone does. But I can see for a new collector that it might be very kind of daunting and demoralizing to see all the prices of like a KAR98 or a K31 or an Enfield or an M1 Garand or something like that. It might be really, or even a Mosin that got 9130, $350, $300 to $350 for a 9130 that just a few years ago was $70 and they couldn't basically give them away. So yeah, I can see how that'd be disheartening. So I'm going to kind of show you that there's still a little bit of hope and kind of tell you how to look for them. I'll be doing other videos on where to source surplus firearms. It's getting a little bit more narrow, but there are still things that you can do, like look at auction sites, and I'm not talking about Gunbroker or any of the popular ones. So you're going to have to rely on your own intellect to do a little bit of research, because I'm going to tell you that this is one of the deals that I got this year, and it was earlier this year. I believe this is the first one out of all of these. And this is just a Turkish M38 Mauser. Any configuration of any of the updated ones to this 8mm platform that was done in the 30s is what I'm talking about when I say M38, because it's going to be in the M38 configuration. It's chambered in 8mm Mauser, 8x57mm. So there are a couple trade-offs with all of these military surplus firearms, but we'll talk about that in a second. So I've been for about 6 or 7 years singing the praises of the Turkish Mauser, and I got a bunch of people, oh, you're going to cause the prices to go up. Well, they haven't really gone up that much in 6 or 7 years, and again, I don't have that much reach. I've got 75,000 subscribers, which is a cool number for me, but in the grand scheme of things, there's people that have millions of subscribers that are much more responsible for why surplus is kind of where it's at if you really want to play the YouTube blame game. So yeah, I'm definitely not as influential as you think, so you can relax. I'm not going to be single-handedly causing these things to go up. They're not really a secret. I just think that people shit on these because when they hear Turkey, they think of a third world country in the desert, because people don't know geography, specifically in the United States. It's freaking terrible, but I think of a third world country in the desert that issues a bunch of garbage and is just kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for secondhand stuff, when that's simply not true. These were manufactured, this specific one was manufactured in Turkey. The earlier ones were manufactured in Germany, and then they started manufacturing them in Turkey to really high standards. Now the problem is some of these, just like any surplus rifle, are going to have a lot of wear to them. They're going to be, not so good shooters. They might have some problems with the bolt or the firing pin being bent. Just typical surplus problems that can happen with a K98 or an Enfield or something like that. So people just they give these a bad name, which is fine because it keeps the price down, and it seems like they're going the same, a little bit higher, of course, but around the same amount that they have been since I started collecting, even, which is about yes, between $150 and $350 for a super nice one. $150, you're gonna probably have to clean it up. Grease is gonna be on there. It's gonna be dirty. It's not gonna look really pretty. But so far, knock on wood, I have gotten lucky with, there's wood right in front of me. What the hell am I doing? I've gotten really lucky with every Turkish Mauser I've owned. They've all been really good shooters, reliable. They go bang every time as long as the ammo does. And they're accurate, and I have not had any problems with them jamming or anything like that. So maybe it's just me getting lucky, but a lot of people I know also like these, and they're still affordable. So for a first military surplus firearm, I cannot recommend the Turkish M38 Mauser enough. They're really good rifles. It's a large ring 98 action for sub $300. Now, the trade-off is 8mm Mauser ammo. It is commercially manufactured, and there is still surplus out there if you know where to look. But it can be a little bit pricey, and it can be a little bit harder to track down. Now, for hoarders like myself that have been, hoarding ammo for years every chance we get because I shoot a lot, It's not just because I'm trying to, you know, get rich and, you know, pay off my house I could do that right now actually, but I'm choosing not to because I like shooting. That's why I collect. I don't just collect to have these as an investment. That's a partial reason. It's kind of a convenient, it's a fringe benefit, but I like to shoot these guns. So that's why I have a bunch of ammo. I have a bunch of different kinds of ammo. If you can get the ammo, these are fantastic for deer rifles, just target shooting, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So that's going to be number one that I got this year. We'll stick with the rifles for now and then we'll move on to this guy. So recently there's been a bunch of these Carcano carbines. This is a M1891 cavalry carbine. There's been 1891 TSs and 9124s, which you don't want to get. Those are the cut down rifles that they lost the gain twist rifling and they're inherently inaccurate. So stay away from the 9124s, but the 91 TS and the 91 cavalry carbines like this and this are really cool rifles. I have an M38 cavalry carbine in 6.5x52, but these are just neat little rifles. They've got the folding bayonet, the nice bolt action, and the nice sights. Once I heal up from my catastrophe, I will be making shooting videos. And yeah, this one too. It's got a little chunk cut out of the stock right there. Might have been a stock repair or something. Might have been like a crack. Doesn't affect the functionality at all. It's kind of cool. Otherwise, the stock's very nice. Yeah, they got the folding bayonets on these. These are kind of just really cool. It's a nice conversation piece. You see that. But these were issued to more than cavalry troops. These weren't just specifically for cavalry. Or they were made for the cavalry, but then they were issued to other troops as well. Mountain troops liked them because they were short, and then they had a bayonet that they didn't have to, you know, try to pull out if they needed to. And then it's cool getting the different dates. This is a 1937 Gardone, and then this is a 1935 Tierney manufactured. So I'm trying to get one from every factory, but I'm really tempted to buy more of these. So make sure you buy them out so I don't have to. I can't tell you where to get them as per YouTube's community guidelines. But if you kind of look at something with DK in the title, you might be able to kind of get what I'm saying. So yeah, but that's where I got these from. It's a small business, and they happen to get a bunch of these. They're in fantastic condition, as you can see. Like, look at that, functionally good. The bores are really good. I can't show you the bores because I'm an idiot and I don't know how to do that very well. Very smooth action. So those I'd say are the deal of the year. Once these are gone, I don't know if there's going to be any big imports of wood-stock surplus rifles like this from, you know, prior to the Second World War. This is kind of a fluke, and that's why I'm taking advantage of it, and a lot of other collectors are taking advantage of it too. It's going to be cool someday, you know, to have a few of these maybe. They're about $250 where I got it from, a little bit more with the shipping and whatnot. But $250, and then someday if you have kids or grandkids and you got a bunch of these, be like, yeah, that was the last of the surplus. And here you go, you can have this, or you can buy it from me and go hunting with it, do whatever, because they're nice little brush guns, they're really short. But again, the trade-off is the 6.5x52, you have to know where to get that. If you watch my previous videos from the past few years, I dropped a really good source for ammo that carries this. And also when you buy these from the place that I got it from, you do get one brass end block clip, a 6-round end block clip, which is required if you want to use this is more than a single shot rifle. So anyway, those are a really good deal. I really cannot recommend these enough. If you're just getting into the surplus market, a Carcano is a great rifle. Everybody shits on these too, and that's why I think they're still cheap. Fantastic rifles. I'll definitely be making some videos with these shortly. Now we're going to move on to pistols. Now pistols are very difficult. I'm talking about Curio and Relic pistols, like I can get with my license, and that if you apply, if you're 21, you can get your Curio and Relic license. This is a Tokarev. This is specifically a Chinese Type 54 that was sent to Albania and reworked and all that stuff. And this is CNR eligible, and these are on the primary market right now from a very reputable importer and dealer. I'm very tempted to get another one of these, even though I probably shouldn't. But not just these. These are $350 right now. For a pistol that shoots that cartridge at 7.62x25, which, again, trade-off, you have to be able to source it. Commercial stuff's not going to be as hot as the military surplus stuff. I run military surplus stuff because it's awesome and it creates a huge fireball and it's very loud and accurate and it's what you'd expect out of the Tokarev, but commercial stuff works just fine. These are fantastic pistols. My first handgun ever was a Yugo M57, which is the one that's got 9 rounds instead of 8. A little bit longer handle, which is my favorite variant of the Tokarev. You can get Romanian ones. They're a little bit harder to find right now. These are still on the market. They're again, I can't say where to get them, but look around on the internet. Just type in Chinese Type 54 Tokarev, and you should be able to navigate your way and maybe get one. But Tokarevs are fantastic pistols, and once you can get the ammo, they're great. The magazines are readily available. And yeah, I mean, for sub $400 for a handgun in this day and age, that's a really good deal. Plus you get a collectible. Like, this is a very collectible piece. There's not a lot of these Chinese Type 54s floating around in the US. So that's kind of the deals that I found this year. Now, this is just a small table with a few rifles on it, a few rifles and a pistol on it. 2 different kinds of rifles and a pistol. Now, if this was 5 or 6 years ago, my God, this whole table would be full. There'd be guns around me, and I'd be like, yeah, here's what you need to get. Unfortunately, we're, I guess, nearing the bottom of the barrel for, not shitting on these, calling these the bottom of the barrel, but like, we're really scraping to get good surplus imports. I know the importers are trying because they make money, but what sucks a lot about new imports is the countries that used to surplus them out by weight, you know, they now know that there's a market for these in the US, and they're going to be asking more for them, which drives the cost up for the importers, which in turn drives it up for the consumer. So that's just kind of how it works. That's why the surplus market is effectively dead as far as being an affordable thing that, you know, like when I used to be poor, I used to get a rifle for $200, $200 or $70 in the case of a Mauser and a gun, and get a crate of ammo for 160, and then be able to shoot for a long time and get really good at working the bolts and, you know, appreciating the history. Those days are over. It's really expensive to get into this and have a vast collection. You have to pay to play nowadays, and it kind of sucks. I really liked it a lot more when it was an affordable thing. But anyway, there are still deals to be had out there. I cannot recommend these Carcanos enough, the Turkish Mauser enough, and a Tokarev series pistol. They do make the commercial ones in 9mm if you want to get those. Those are also about the same price point. They don't really have any collector value to them because they're commercially made, but they're still a fantastic platform. So that's all I've got. Let me know what you think. If you got into the collecting game late, I feel ya. I only got about 2-3 years of really good collecting when I actually had money to collect. And everything kind of just toppled over after that. So sorry if this video ran a little bit long. I just wanted to cover a bunch of these things. I will be making videos in the future about how to source these things, not just on the typical, you know, gun show and local gun store. Those sources are no longer viable in my opinion, and I'll explain why in the other video, so stay tuned for that. If you do like this content and you like the fact that I can actually show you these things and not just put pictures up and be able to afford them, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon or becoming a channel member. Both ways, $5 a month or more gets you into my Discord server, which is cool. That's the first perk. It's pretty interesting on there. We have a lot of good conversations. I learn a lot on there actually, and we exchange information, new purchases, stuff like that. And what your support does is it helps me be able to afford actually tangible items to make videos on. If you can't afford that, to actually learn about this, or doing ballistic tests on helmets and body armor, doing shooting videos in general, because ammo, especially in this day and age, is not cheap. And I can afford to fund this channel out of pocket to an extent, but crowdfunding actually helps me be able to branch out and do content I wouldn't otherwise be able to afford out of pocket due to that crowdfunding. So that's a really cool way if you want to support my work and all that stuff. If you can't do that financially, if you can't support the work financially, I totally get that. That's not a problem. Your viewing and liking this video and subscription means a lot to me, and I do appreciate that. That's why I keep making videos. So let me know what you think. If you got any questions, I'll try to answer them. I'm not an expert. I'm just a dude that's been collecting kind of on and off for the past 15 years, and I just like surplus firearms. So that's all I've got, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.